Journalists Ryan Grim and Jeremy Scahill, both individuals who've been on Rising in the past, are leaving The Intercept, which has been their home. Now, they've been at the center of repeated major investigations at the progressive news outlet that they have been a part of for a long time, for 10 years, and now they are moving on.
Ryan and Jeremy announced Monday they're stepping away from The Intercept to work on their own new venture, Drop Site News. And their followers, boasting in the hundreds of thousands, are likely going with them. Here are some quick reactions from X. One user posted a screenshot of her conversation with her husband that read, quote, "I can't believe Jeremy is leaving The Intercept. With Ryan Grim too. I'll follow Jeremy into hell's mouth." Leaving Ryan out there. Ryan, I'll follow you into hell's mouth too. Another posted, quote, "Just bought an annual subscription. I have no doubt that Drop Site is going to become a vital tool to help us understand this deranged world." Here to discuss his departure from The Intercept and the new outlet, Drop Site News, is journalist Ryan Grim. Thanks for coming on, Ryan.
Hey, thanks for having me on. And since I'm in my sales mode, I'll tell you the website is dropsitenews.com. So that's how you can find it online. I'm not sure how we're doing with the Google searching yet. It takes a little while for the robots to kind of understand that like you exist and you're a bunch of humans. But it's nice to be back here. Good to see you, Robbie. Good to see you, Jessica.
Yes, good to have you. As our viewers, I'm sure, know, Ryan helped co-host this show for a good while back in the day, so it's always nice to have you back. I don't know how much you wanted to say. I saw, Jeremy said something about not really wanting to talk too much about the dysfunction at The Intercept. We've talked to Ken Klippenstein about it. I know you've said various things about it. So, tell us as much or as little as you want to say about that. But, what's the motivation to have a new venture?
Yeah, I mean, I can say that I thought that, when I was hosting, co-hosting Rising with you, I thought I would leave The Intercept in a box. Like it was a perfect place in so many ways where you were left alone. You could do investigative journalism, and I hope that it thrives in that way for many years to come. But what Jeremy and I wanted to do is do something completely independent, something that was basically that's going to continue to do the kind of adversarial work that we've done at The Intercept, but with no limitations whatsoever. It's kind of a freeing feeling to have just literally no bosses. It's and as a libertarian, Robbie, like you've got to appreciate that kind of from a spiritual perspective.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I can appreciate that, especially someone on the left who was with a fairly large independent media organization, TYT. It's no secret that I'm not at TYT anymore as a host, and I think there was a pressure there to make money, to cover a lot of stories that I didn't see as the most crucial for the political moment or to further the progressive movement. Can you speak a little bit to that, to how this was motivated maybe by your values as a progressive?
Yeah, like what we feel, what Jeremy and I feel, and others who are going to be joining us in the coming days, we'll have some more announcements to make, is that the kind of independent progressive media ecosystem needs a robust investigative journalism arm or investigative journalism wing to it. Shows like this are important. Like this is how stuff gets out. Breaking Points, Democracy Now!, Rising, et cetera. That's how people really learn about it on a mass scale. Or say Hassan Piker, Chapo, et cetera. Investigative journalism might, the article that you publish, it might only get 50,000 views total, like across its entire length, but it will get talked about by the mainstream media, by cable, by independent media, and it becomes the raw material that then helps shape our conversation. And if there isn't an independent investigative news operation doing that and doing the uncomfortable stories, then all the rest of us in the kind of independent space are just left talking about the chum that the mainstream media throws out, and it's all reactive, rather than being able to kind of put forward your own information that then the mainstream media has to chew on.
Yeah, I say this to everyone who expresses an interest, including on the right. And I want to start a new thing, and it's like, okay, is your new thing just going to be more reaction, more commentary? I mean, I feel bad knocking that because it's so much of what we do on this show. But there has to be someone doing original reporting and investigation that then, like you said, the TV channels can disseminate that information, but if no one is doing the actual work of doing the investigations, then the ecosystem starts to dry out. We've all, obviously, even in the last couple of years, since you and I were sitting in these chairs, there's been even more kind of media fracturing as the kind of business model for how you fund journalism has gone completely awry for a variety of reasons, for rise of social media, ad revenue drying up. It certainly seems to me that subscriber models is like the most sustainable future, at least for individuals, like what Substack is doing for specific people. But starting and for an organization, it's definitely trickier.
Right, and we're very lucky. Like if we were coming up brand new with this idea, I do not think we'd be able to pull it off because of the economics that you're talking about. Jeremy and I are lucky enough that we got into this about, Jeremy a little more than 20 years ago, me a little bit less. And so we're kind of known quantities out in the world. And so as we've launched, we've been met with this incredible reception of people saying, oh, good, yes, we need this. This is actually something that has to exist in the world. And that's, and there are some, super rich people that feel that way. And they're like, you put up these like founding member donations that people are allowed to, give up to like $2,000. And it's shocking to see people who are like, oh yeah, just with a click of a button on a screen, they're like, yeah, I will support this with $2,000. And then on top of that, people signing up for like $9 a month or whatever. Now the project is free. Like we're never going to charge for the journalism. So you're only paying because you want to support a cause. But I think because people know us already, and because people believe what you said, there has to be somebody out there kind of doing the work and also doing the uncomfortable work, like the kind of pieces that we want to do, like Jeremy published today, a piece with several on the record interviews with Hamas officials. Like our sweet spot for a story is if it's something that A, is very important to the public, and B, might make you a little squeamish. Like, ooh, do we really want to go there? And if there's ever that kind of tug, like, do we really want to go there? Then it's like that actually is, that's our story. Like that's where we need to go. Like that's our role. And so I think there's enormous appetite for that. It's not going to be commercially successful in the sense that you're going to be able to blow it up to like a 100-person organization, but with a fairly and be sustainable.
I have such a soft spot in my heart for your investigative reporting. I remember when I was leaving graduate school, one of my mentors was really hammering me like, well, what do you want to do? What do you care the most about? After a frustrating conversation of, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work in the State Department. I don't want to be a Deloitte consultant. She was like, what do you care about? And I was like, the truth. And then, of course, I ended up finding my way into, reporting and journalism. But it's because of you and your investigative work. When my TikToks were getting banned after I was reporting on coups done by the CIA in Guatemala, and it was this show. It was actually this exact screen, me, you, and Robbie talking about it. But The Intercept was always one of those places where I thought I could go for the truth. Their one main contribution was investigative reporting, and they just held an important space in left media, but in all of media for doing that good work. And I think when people saw Ken Klippenstein leave and raise some questions about what the future of The Intercept might look like, they were worried that investigative reporting wouldn't happen. But it's good to hear. It sounds like following you and Jeremy into DropSite won't be into hell's mouth. But I just hope that you all still have the resources to do the investigative journalism. And can you reassure some of the viewers that work will still be going on between you and Jeremy?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely going on. You can read his piece today. You can read pieces that we've got in the pipeline in coming weeks if you go and sign up for it. And we knew when we launched this that it was going to be a risk, and that we would probably know within the first few days whether or not it's going to take off, whether or not we take off and hit the mountain and the plane blows up, or if you get out there into orbit. And we have, like, it's been a great first couple of days. And so I think people can rest assured that there will be, that hard-hitting adversarial journalism coming out of DropSite for many years to come. That means, though, people, if they can, do need to support it. So dropsitenews.com is where you can do that. And also, I appreciate you guys having me on to talk about it too.
Yeah, and before we let you go, since you're a political pundit commentator too, I got to get your quick take on what's going on with everything in Biden world. I'm
Yes.
so confident he's not dropping out, that no one can make him, and he is desperate to cling to power. I've started making like bets. I did a whole radar on it today. I don't think he's going anywhere. What do you say?
What I love is that the first two interviews that we did at Drop Site were with Hamas officials on the one hand and Dimitri Melhorn on the other. Dimitri Melhorn, if you don't know, he's like a mega donor, mega donor, Reid Hoffman's right-hand man, one of the most influential kind of Democrats in the country. And what he told me is exactly that, that Biden believes, and that to understand Biden's mentality, and he knows Biden, to understand Biden's mentality, you have to understand that he is haunted by not running in 2016. He thinks that he was wrong to let people talk him out of it, that he would have beaten Donald Trump where Hillary Clinton lost to him. Obama and others tried to talk him out of running in 2020. Obviously, he won that one. So he thinks all of the cool kids, all of the smart people have been wrong the last two times. And so why should he listen to them this time? That interview is also over at Drop Site. And it's persuasive in the sense that I do think that is actually how Biden is thinking. I think Biden's crazy for that analysis of 2016. Yes, I think he would have beaten Trump. But I think basically any Democrat alive would have beaten Trump except for Hillary Clinton. But that's not how Biden sees it. He sees himself as the one who saved the Democratic Party and saved the world in 2020, and he's going to do it again against the wishes of everybody.
Well, Ryan Grim, it's great having you here. It makes me nostalgic for the old days, you, me, and Kim Iverson. That was some fun times.
Those were the days.
Thanks for stopping by. More Rising right after this.
All right. I'll see you guys.